So, I'm Brian Taylor. I'm a lieutenant with BCSO. This is Jade Tempest. What is your first name?
It's a pimp named Slickback. My parents had issues.
Okay. Okay. Alright, and what's your email username?
Uh, I am LVL.
I am.
Yeah, sure. I'll just do this.
I am LVL.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Is it capitalized like that?
Yeah, just like that.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any experience in police or military? That could be in city or in head.
Yeah, I used to be a cop in another city for about 2 years, and then I was the commander, like the top guy for about like a few months. Got into some drama, in that city with some people, so it just kind of ruined it for me, and I've been here ever since.
Okay. What was that drama, if you don't mind me asking?
So, yeah, so I was hanging out with some people, right? Made some friends in there, like we all do. Um, what happened was I had a dispute with my friend because he was the previous commander, like the chief
Mm-hmm.
and commander. He was taking bribes and was trying to get one of my other boys like permanently removed. I'm like, dude, like the kid does nothing wrong. Like he deserves a promotion, this and the third, but he wasn't getting along with everyone. So when I found out that the chief was taking money to keep my boy like where he's at and to finally kick him because he freaked out, I was like, yeah, that's not cool. So I just reported him to the server owner, and then everyone got mad about it.
Mm, gotcha.
Yeah.
So then you just wanted out of it. Okay.
Yeah, that's all. I tried to play for a little bit, but like, you're not talking to all your friends like you used to. It's a little the fun's not there anymore.
Gotcha.
I just fly, I do what I'm supposed to do. So when people break the rules and then they get reported for it, I mean, why are you upset? You were breaking the rules in the first
I
place.
gotcha. So what was the highest you said you reached in that department?
Chief and commander, like the top.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, so what sets you aside as the right choice for the job for BCSO?
I'd say at the bare minimum, I'm very active. Um, I love the roly poly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I make sure that whoever I'm interacting with has a good time. Like I'm obviously gonna do my job and like make sure that they're rested if they're supposed to be, but we'll have a few laughs on the way, but
Good.
still maintain professional, appearance.
Okay. So pretty much just your overall experience and enjoying the roly poly part of it,
Yeah, and just
keeping
being here.
everything fun. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just keeping it positive, but still maintaining like my duty. Like, I'll still arrest you, but hey, we can like, I'm not gonna feed into someone that's gonna like be negative and like freaking out. Like, okay, like I'll leave them alone. I'm not an instigator. I'll diffuse the
Yeah.
situation by trying to like,
I got you. Do you have any strengths or weaknesses that come in mind? Strengths, I know you're probably not going to want to toot your own horn, but
I'll give you like a few of each. So I'll start with weaknesses. So yeah, I like to be goofy, so I might get carried away a little bit, right? But nothing too serious. If I'm provoked, I mean, I don't want to say I have a hair trigger. I got a pretty, calm headed, but I'll say something sometimes a little unnecessary. Nothing too crazy. Obviously I'll
okay.
stay in city, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I guess another one would be like using my radio and like the call signs. Just because in my old city we didn't really use them as much as you guys did. I have a little experience as being a cop. I just never got to finish my training.
Okay. All
And
right.
then some strengths, I guess, would be just my verbal communication skills, like being able to talk to someone, figuring out what's wrong, like getting to the root of the problem.
Fair.
Um, Another thing is like clocking in. I usually always clock in. Um, I think another one would be like the connections in the community. Like I know my name is ridiculous, but when people hear it, they can't help but giggle, and then we, get into a conversation, and I feel like a good amount of people like me in city more than hate me.
Gotcha. Okay. Are you comfortable with firearms?
Um, yeah, I could say in my past life I've been using this weapon a lot.
Okay, and then the next thing is we require a minimum of 10 hours a week. That's kind of changed to 10 hours every 2 weeks. Clocked in and on duty. Is that something you can commit to?
Yeah, absolutely. And then like the more people I meet in here and like make friends, like I'm just like a social person. So if I don't have anyone to hang out with, you know what I mean? I kind of like get, just get a little bored.
Gotcha. So why'd you decide on BCSO? What stood out for us?
Well, I tried LSPD and I just wasn't getting the attention I needed because I kept asking for training like on a daily basis and I just
Wait, so
wasn't
you
getting it.
tried LSPD in this city?
Yeah, and my other soul,
Okay, who's your other soul?
Vito Marco.
Vito Marco.
Yeah, do you want to look him up?
Is he?
He's not currently active anymore. I
What
believe I
ended up
was
happening with
removed.
him?
I
Do you
was
know?
just inactive, that's all. He just didn't fly in as much as this one does because I have like a one of one on here and some other stuff.
I got you. And I ask this every now and then, especially now with our everybody getting their history cleared. I just want to know if you'll be honest with me. Did you have criminal activity before you got the wipe?
I did, but I was working on an expungement and it's been over 30 something days before my last charge and my lawyer was pushing for it.
Okay.
I was gonna get a court date and everything.
Were you in a gang or anything?
Yeah.
Which gang were you in?
MBG.
Gotcha. How high up did you make it in that?
Um the third, like I was under the co-leader.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, and that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing because if you're wanting to switch roles, I know a lot of cops that have a criminal past, but now they can use all of, like, they know so much more about what they're looking at because they've been in those shoes before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'd use my knowledge to benefit you guys. I've kind of experienced enough on that other side where I'm kind of like already sick of it. And I think this would be like a new thing to do. It's something I did before, and I think I could, do currently.
Okay. If we decide to hire you, what do you look forward to the most during your trainings? Is there anything that we should focus on?
Um, I mean, I'd like to focus on my weaknesses and improve, like using the radio and then not saying like stupid things in front of certain people. Like, when you're with your friends, it's a different story. We're in a cruiser together alone, but you can't be
Sure.
messing around with suspects in the back, which
Gotcha.
I think I'll be okay with. But that's just like one thing I might have to work on.
Okay.
Just getting too carried away, and having like making jokes and stuff is all.
Gotcha. All right, I've got a couple scenario questions for you.
Okay.
Okay, you initiate a routine traffic stop when the suspect steps out of the vehicle, begins walking towards you unarmed. What's your next course of action?
I think I would exit my vehicle and then tell the suspect, like, listen, sir, you need to remain seated in your vehicle so we can just, I can just give you your ticket or whatever's gonna, like, take your information first and then process you, sir. Like, I don't feel safe with you standing outside the car. And then I would kind of check in the car and see if there's anyone else in it.
Okay, good answer. Next one, you have several officers are currently in a vehicle pursuit with a suspect. However, during the chase, you receive a call over the radio about shots fired and an officer downed. How do you proceed?
I would stop the chase and proceed to help the officer down in hopes of getting EMS there and getting our officer out of there.
Okay, and this is a weird question. If the highest in command in your department instructed you to flat back a suspect, what do you do?
Hmm. um, I mean, if he's my boss, I would. Oof. I don't know because that's like one of the things. Like I like to follow the rules as long as it's within the guidelines. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'd just do it.
Okay. All right, there's not really a wrong answer there. I just wanted to see how you thought about it.
I don't like breaking the rules, so like I'd ask someone after it happened or something like, "Hey, like what just happened?" I would want to
Glad you
fill in the
didn't know.
pieces or something. Yeah, exactly. I want to be like justify the reason for killing the said suspect. Because for
Okay.
all I know, I pulled up and he had a knife or maybe something actually was wrong. I don't know.
All right. Let's see. Let's look at some 10 codes. You probably know them pretty well. You know what 1080 is?
Isn't that a pursuit, like a chase?
Yep. You know what 1011 is?
Is that a? mm, Not on foot, is it? I don't think it is.
No, that's a
Okay.
traffic stop. You're
Okay.
thinking of 1070. That's a foot pursuit.
Foot pursuit.
So you
Gotcha.
don't know 10 codes.
Not really. Like I didn't
That's
use them
nothing
much,
wrong
and
with that.
then I didn't get through my. I did like part A and B, and then I didn't do anymore.
Okay. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay.
Code 4 is seen over. I
Uh,
think what code, code 1 or 2 I think is lights. I can't remember.
gotcha. All right. Well, that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything you want to ask him, Jake?
Sure. I have a few scenario questions if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, before we start, do you know the difference between reasonable suspicion and probable cause?
Yeah. So reason for suspicion is like you think they did something. Like maybe I smoked weed in their car. I know that's not justifiable, but that's like reason of suspicion. And then the other one is like I witnessed them do something wrong, and I pulled up on them.
Okay, okay. The case laws. Sorry if I go into too much detail here. Just let me know if I'm going too much detail because I'm a very detailed person. Case laws. Terry v. Ohio. Do you know what that stands for?
Nope. I don't know any of the cases and examples, but I'll try my best
Okay,
to answer.
it's all good. No worries. So it involves reasonable suspicion. I'll give you that hint.
Yep.
Something with searching someone. What
Okay,
cops
so
do in head.
yeah,
Called a Terry frisk.
Terry frisk.
Yep, basically it allows you to search for weapons on someone. Only weapons and nothing else, just to make sure that they are unarmed. And if they are armed, that gives you probable cause to detain them if they don't have a weapons license. Tennessee v. Garner. Now, you probably won't know this one because not a lot of people do. Tennessee v. Garner is basically you are allowed to use lethal force on a suspect if you believe they have the intent to shoot or hurt someone, yourself, or a crowd of people. So that's a big if. You got to be very careful with that one, to be honest.
Yeah, like he was reaching for his pistol or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, and then it's just like fired.
Yes.
Or he threatened to, like he was saying he was gonna stab someone, and he ended up having a knife and shot him.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so on the scenarios because I know that's the boring. I'm the boring one. I'm sorry.
It's
Um.
fine.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna throw a couple scenarios at you. So, for example, you observe a red in color speeding car speeding past you in a quiet neighborhood. All of a sudden, you pull the car over. He's going 55 and a 35. All of a sudden, when you pull him over, he gets out of the vehicle, starts yelling, saying that the stop is unjust and not reasonable. What would you do in the situation?
Well, so reason of suspicion is well, he's already breaking the law. He's being violent. I'm gonna exit my vehicle, tell him to get back in his with my hand on my holster, and if the continues to escalate or he reaches, I'm gonna put him down and move on. If he complies and gets back in his car, I'll just continue to write him up, make sure it's his car, write him the appropriate fine, and go about my day.
Okay, okay. Now, for scenario number two, you get a call of a physical disturbance at a local bar. Two men have been fighting in an altercation while they were drunk. They both were drunk. One man is bleeding from the nose, one is not. So one is just fine, one needs EMS treatment. Um, let me see. When you get there, the men are still trying to fight. However, there are people recording in the background. So there's other people that are like in the bar. They're just recording the event that's going on. This one of the people is screaming, "Fight, fight, fight!" So you get there, you don't have backup yet. What do you do? And who do you
Um,
arrest?
I would try and tell the crowd to calm down, and then I would try and get the two men outside after they stop fighting, and hopefully, I can get them there. I think I would ask the sir with the bloody nose. I'd ask them both what happened. I'd probably arrest them both for being drunk and disorderly conduct. And then they both obviously assaulted each other, but I think I'd ask the guy with the bloody nose if he wants to press charges and then move forward like that.
Okay. Last scenario of mine would be you are in a quiet park. There's an event happening nearby when you see someone very suspicious walking around handing off things to locals. When you want to, there's the event nearby, and in attendance is multiple children, families, an attorney. For example, what would you do in order for him not to cause a disturbance for the event?
So
Like, how
there's
would you
someone
deal with that?
handing stuff out at this
Yes,
event where there's
not
people and children.
close to the event, just in the
Okay,
park, close to
just
the
on
event.
the
Yeah.
outside.
Yep.
So like, how would I handle him without disturbing the event?
Yes.
Well, for reasonable suspicion, I forget what that frisk word was, but I would frisk him. I'd kind of walk up to him and be like, "Hey, man, like, I need to check you out real quick. You're being shady, right?" And I'd kind of like frisk him, check him for weapons and anything like that. If he had a weapon, I'd detain him. If he didn't, I'd ask him what he was doing because it looks like he's selling, drugs. And I'd try and get him as far away from the event as possible, especially if it's like a really important one or something.
Okay.
I'd probably
That's
radio in.
That's good. Okay. Perfect. Well, that's it from me, sir. If you wanted to continue.
Okay, so that's all the questions we have for you. I'm gonna put in a good word for you, but since I'm not high command, I can't hire you on the spot.
I understand.
So I'm gonna send that up to the hiring board. How long are you gonna be in city today?
I mean, I'll be on. Honestly, I got I got this new thing in the head, this new game, and I wanted to fucking like beat it. So if you don't mind reaching out in emails, I can just come back whenever you want me.
Okay, because somebody will probably reach out pretty soon. We have a lot of high command in right now, so
Okay.
I bet you it ends up being fast. Do you have any questions for us?
I guess not really. Just like if I did get in, what would you